ahoj, man. Hejkal, a vítám se z hry Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars. Tak jo, jdeme do toho hotelu Ubu, který nám byl doporučen, nebo který jsme vlastně zjistili. Se tam jdeme proklepnout. Do hotelu Ubu. A tady jsou nějaký ty, takový mezinárodní hotel, vidím Japonsko, Francie, Německo, Itálie, Švýcarsko. Víc tady nevidím, tady mám pak ještě nahrávací tu, takže tady nevidím prostě. Problém s nima.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Do you recognize the guy in this photograph?
No, I never saw him.
What does this tissue mean to you?
Are you serious?
Oh, yes. Take a good look at the substance it's smeared with.
You are sick. Very sick.
Will you shake my hand?
Are you joking? Who knows where it has been?
Forget
To ne,
it.
mě z toho nebylo důležitý. Jenom s tím, že jsem chtěl vyzkoušet, jestli se chytí nebo ne. Říkal, že to bylo v patře, tak já tam teda půjdem do patra. Tady druhý dveře napravo, tak to bylo tady ty, že jo.
The door was locked. The door was locked.
Tak to je skoro v každý dvě, to je skoro v každý hře, ne? Jak hororovka, dveře jsou zamčený.
The door was locked.
Takže musíme vyzjistit teď, musíme mě teda dostat z toho recepčního klíč. Já vím jak, ale můžeme si to udělat, jako kdybych prostě nevěděl.
I want some information.
Who are you? The police?
I'm conducting a private investigation.
Ah, I know only too well what you mean. That is one of the drawbacks of the catering business. When people book into an hotel, they leave their morals at home, no?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, monsieur. That man is one of our guests.
What name?
I cannot tell you that.
I'm looking for a man who dresses like a clown.
This is a highly respectable hotel, monsieur. There are no clowns here.
If you say so. Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
No, monsieur. Perhaps you would care to check the register.
The man who calls himself Khan has a scar on his left cheek.
Vraiment? I tell you, I do not know a man named Khan.
Maybe not, but I noticed a change in his expression when I mentioned the scar.
No, tak to něco zduší.
Do you know a man named Plentau?
No, monsieur.
Hey, shake my hand.
I'd rather not, monsieur. I'm still sore from the shock administered by one of the guests. He was secretly concealing an electrical device in the palm of his hand. Practical jokes are so puerile, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Tak nic.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
Musíme vzít klíč.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
What?
You are trying to steal that key, no?
No. What is... Excuse me, didn't I see your picture in the news? You're that Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Yes, that is me, in person.
I don't want to worry you, but have you had any threats on your life? You know, mysterious phone calls, letters made up of headlines cut from the newspaper.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know a guy called Plantow?
I don't know anybody in Paris.
Oh, well, this guy's dead anyhow.
Why do you ask me about dead men? I have seen enough of death to last me a lifetime.
I'm, sure you have. Have you seen a clown?
I beg your pardon?
The clown. A guy in funny pants. Have you seen him?
My pants are from England, Marks and Spencer. They are a pleasure and a comfort to wear, with much support.
I'm real glad to hear that. You know, it's good to know you Nobel Prize winners are human too.
In my country, the people make do with string and egg cartoons.
For pants?
For everything. Oppression is the mother of ingenuity.
Союз, Russia.
Do
Союз.
you recognize this man? He calls himself Khan.
Yes, I know this man. Why do you carry his photograph?
I'm a private detective. This is a photo of Khan, right?
That is just one of the names by which he is known.
What's your interest in Khan?
He is an enemy of my people,
You know he's a killer.
of course, amongst other things.
Would you help me investigate Khan?
That is not possible. My instructions are to observe. I cannot jeopardize my position as an honored guest of this country's government.
Tenhle nám to nepomůžem.
Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
Studentskou.
Hi there, ma'am.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a man.
You disappoint me, my dear. For one foolish moment I thought... But never mind. Aren't you going to tell me your name?
George Stobart, ma'am.
How sweet! I once had a stable boy called George. I am Lady Piermont. The common reaction is to kneel and stutter, but it's not obligatory.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest-to-God aristocrat?
Oh, I don't know about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even to God. I can trace my family back to the Normans, but don't let that intimidate you, George. Beneath that impressive pedigree, I'm just flesh and blood. The blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of old England, so to speak. You appear distracted, George. Is there any way I can help you?
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
I guess I am.
Good heavens, I must be dreaming.
I don't think so, ma'am.
Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
I'm a detective. We do these things.
Now you're being ridiculous. If you can't supply me with a plausible explanation, I'm not interested.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him! That's Merlin!
She represented everything I loved about the English. The lady was totally deranged. Merlin? King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no! Monsieur Merlin is a fellow guest.
Aha.
The man you know as Merlin is a fake.
What do you mean, sweetie?
He's a murderer. He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stowell. Shaken. I took him to be a gentleman, a man of honor. You know, I'd rather like to assist you in stitching him up.
I really need that key bad.
I'm not convinced I should help you, darling.
When did you last see Merlin?
It was no more than an hour ago. He came downstairs and spoke to that clerk chappie. Something passed hands. I couldn't see what exactly.
A briefcase?
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps. The clerk put it in the hotel safe and Merlin went out.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling, positive.
I wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is. I'll bet they had something to do with Plantow's briefcase. Are you here in
No, darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not, it's my husband.
Has Merlin returned to the hotel?
No, he hasn't. Are you going to search his room?
If I could get in there, I would.
And that's why you want the key?
Yes, ma'am.
I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case. But a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick.
Thanks, Frank.
I say! You there? Flunky!
Oui, madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewelry for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Over to you, my dear.
Rychle klíček. A nahoru. Mám takový dojem, že ten klíč patří k... Tady mám inventář. Klíč patří sem.
Maybe it wasn't the right room, but this was the right key.
Jo.
There was nothing in the envelope from a vague, lingering smell of camphor.
Šup. No teda oknem. To přelezme, podpořím se. Vlastně, takže... Teď doufám, že to teda teď vyzjistím nějak dobře.
The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed.
Okay, a tohle si už nepamatuju vůbec, kde to bylo. Jsme pod polštářem, nebo někde.
The bed was freshly made, and the crisp white sheets told me nothing about the killer's habits. There was nothing in the pockets of the pants. There was nothing in the pocket. There was nothing in the pocket.
Nech ten stolek, no, tak to je jedno.
The bed was restless.
Zase prohledá tohle jenom.
The bed was restless. There was nothing in the pot. The pants were newly laundered and pressed with immaculate creases. The pants were newly laundered
Jo,
and
tak
pressed.
líbilo.
The bed was several times larger than the narrow cot I'd been given at the place I was staying. The cabinet had no drawers, just a single door. The bed was several times larger.
Já nevím, kde bych to měl hledat, totiž, takže...
The assassin had been... The cabinet... The pants were newly laundered and pressed with immaculate creases. The interior closet was large enough for me to climb right in.
Jo. Už vím. On to teprve nese, že jo? A já se schovám do skříně.
I had the feeling in my stomach that would usually send me running back.
Nevím, jestli to zmiňoval, ale v té týře se dá umřít, jo, takže to je takový nepříjemný. Vědomí. Co jsem to všecko?
I couldn't believe my luck when I found two items in the pockets of the pants. The first was an ordinary matchbook. No matches, no clues. The second was a pass card which read Thomas Merlin, Berber Electronics Corporation. There was nothing else in the pockets of the killer's pants. The pants matched the jacket which the killer had lost in Paris.
Počkej, tady je ten kufřík, tady je kufřík.
I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty. The pants matched the jacket. The cabinet had...
Že by to tam dal teď. Už mě schází ještě perigamen mám najít, perigamen, já vím, co mám najít, ale nevím kde už.
The door was locked. cabinet was empty, but it smelled of onions. No kidding, it really did.
Přemýšlím jako co dělám blbě, protože... No já myslím, že těch už nic nemá, ale sakra.
There was nothing else in the pockets of the killer's pants. It was the card I'd found in the hotel bedroom. It read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Já mám takový pocit, no já se podívám na recepci, zkusím na recepci. Jo, už vím. To je tak, když hru hrajete bez návodu po nějaké době, takže...
There was no one registered under the name of Khan. The name in the book for room 22 was Merlin.
What now, monsieur?
Co to má?
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur. May I see some form of identification?
Like what?
A driving license, perhaps?
I don't drive.
Your passport?
I don't have it with me. I could show you my operation scar.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I must have some form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry. I must insist on a more traditional identification.
Tohle nemá.
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe. I can live with that.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
Teď?
What now, monsieur?
Did I show you this pass?
Oui, monsieur.
Tak zkusím přes tu bábu, jestli to bude teď. Přes tuhle lady.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces. I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers. But he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of. Follow me, George!
Víte, koho mi strašně připomíná? Růžičkovou. Slunce sama, já mu ukážu. Půjdu mě na něj.
Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
One moment, please.
You know, I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Green of
Jako
Common.
tady ty
I don't
agentury
know
to mě
what I would
strašně
have done
baví.
without you, Lady Primar.
Vím proč, mám rád.
Voilà, monsieur. Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
Dobře, takže teda teď vyrazíme. Kdybych šel dveřma, tak mě zabijou. Takže jakoby já musím jít takhle prostě oknem. Nebo musím prostě zajistit to, že budu moct projít oknem. Vyhodím to prostě jenom a vylezu ven. To je ten pergamen.
I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside.
Tak, odplížím zpátky a... Jdeme ven.
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem, if you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check, nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet! Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape!
Nothing, Guido. Zilch!
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
Kam jste jdem pro pergamen do uličky, do postranní ulice a pak měříme k Nicole.
If the manuscript was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed. I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and check it out.
Jo, tak super, tak ale se proklikáme, ten to vrátí samo, super.
You're just not going to believe what I've found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
Něco lepšího. Pánek.
It's a medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantark?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Oh yeah, maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of two knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades. This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never outnumbered the enemy numbers, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the end of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive. But the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after. Maybe this manuscript is the key.
You'd better leave it here for safekeeping. Think about it, George. One guy's already died for it, as you said yourself. Besides, that parchment is fragile.
Okay, I'm convinced. You keep hold of it.
Dobře, co teda podíváme ještě?
I found Plantao's briefcase in the killer's hotel room. It was empty, of course. I found this in the killer's room.
What is it, a credit card?
ID, Thomas Merlin, of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him, or the company.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Research, George.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking? Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Let's face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I know a guy who specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobino.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Far from it. Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobino guy?
At the Kroon Museum. I'll give you the address.
My se to moc nevykoumáme, takže půjdeme za tím Lobinovem.
Maybe I'll check out the Kroon Museum.
I'm sure you'll find it useful, George.
Ale já už to tady pak uložím. Doufám, že se vám video líbilo, pokud ano, tak like, komentář. To uložím vlastně před tou novou lokací, abych pak neměl takový zmatky, kde jsem to uložilo správně a tak. Tak vždycky dělám, radši před novou lokací. Takže doufám, že se vám video líbilo, pokud ano, jsem dal like, komentář a adios. Se vás těším do dalšího dílu. Adios.